Anybody make a trade yet? I've got nothing. I mean, at least St. Louis hasn't done anything else. You know they're going to take our lunch money on a regular basis in 3 to 5 years when their current trades come to fruition, unless the people at 501 Broadway realize that this team needs to be a seller? Oh, I know. Remember, what I'm about to do here, we do here at Redemption after every Preds win. But I don't have to be happy about it. Everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators put up a touchdown and defeat the Florida Panthers by a score of 7-3 Saturday afternoon inside Bridgestone Arena. Heck, Preds Nation, I had to really dig to find out the last time the Preds scored 7 or more goals in a game. It turns out the Preds scored 7 or more goals in an 8-0 whitewash of the San Jose Sharks back on March 5th, 2022 of last season. Before that, if you want to find the last time they scored 7 or more goals inside Bridgestone Arena, you have to go back to April 13th, 2021 when he defeated the Tampa Bay Lightning 7-2 in Nashville, and to go all the way back to pre-COVID during a full 82-game season when the Preds scored 7 or more goals at home. You go back to January 15th, 2019 when they defeated the Washington Capitals by that same score of 7-2. But back to this game. Preds players, Preds front office, have you not been listening to the fan base as of late? If you're going to go into the All-Star break with a 3-game winning streak, you can't come out of it losing 1, then winning 1, then losing 2, and winning 1, and expect us to be content about it. If you can't be more consistent and string wins together with under 30 games left to go in the season, what is the point of keeping this old boys club together leading into the March 3rd trade deadline? I know you're not going to lose on purpose, but front office, maybe you should step up here and do something about it. You're still 5 points out of the final wild card spot, and yeah, you got 2 games in hand on Minnesota, who you play tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon, in the XL Energy Center. But newsflash, you've still got a team between the two of you that you're going to have to overtake. It's the Calgary Flames, who, yes, I know have been losing as of late, but they're going to turn it around eventually here with the cushion that they have. Or if all else fails, I got to imagine Calgary doesn't hang on to Daryl Sutter forever here and possibly make a coaching change. And yes, about that, if this team does not make the playoffs come this end of the season, with the new direction I imagine this team will go, the heat is only going to intensify for a coaching change and for John Hines to finally be put out to pasture. This fan base, a lot of it has been loyal for the last 25 years, deserves better than to see this team fall into the crevice that is the 13th to 16th overall record and hardly have a speck of luck to jump up that 10 spots required to win the lottery, since they're not going to have any chance at Bedard unless you start considering trades to be a seller this year. Kids are playing great, and this game showed it, because 2.5 minutes into the first period, Tommy Novak, thank God he's back in the lineup and not riding the pine in press box, outworks Aaron Ekblad and Colin White and comes out of the corner on a pass by Roman Josi and roofs it past Sergei Bobrovsky to give the Preds an opening 1-0 lead. And that was only a preview of the chaos to come that was the first period of Panthers Preds, because 8 minutes into the first period, former Pred Nick Cousins is able to tie a little excessive celebration there, buddy. It's only a 1-1 game. I could see if this was the winner or a key goal in the third, but alas, the Panthers have tied this game and we're all even at 1. Then we, at the 8-minute mark left in the first period, Montador takes a shot from the sideboard. Matthew Tkachuk is left uncontested in front of Kevin Lankinen, who would get the start in this game. Sarl save for the division rival tomorrow in Minnesota, I imagine. Matthew Tkachuk tips it home, and good! The Panthers are ahead 2-1, and all of us Preds fans who have accepted that this team is going to have to be a draft lottery team are quite happy that they're losing, but at the same time hoping that it doesn't get as ugly as it did on Thursday night against Boston. But for Any of us who have followed hockey with any regularity, aside from Preds hockey, know that the one thing the Panthers don't have right now is goaltending. They have one of those overpaid, overrated goalies in the league in Sergei Bobrovsky, who on some nights can't stop a beach ball because 47 seconds after Matthew Tkachuk has given the Panthers the lead, follow the bouncing puck in the Panthers zone. After getting an initial chance, the puck comes right back to Matt Duchene, and Bobrovsky and his defenseman can't track it. Matt Duchene has an easy, and he doesn't miss, ties this game at 2 by burying it in the net. If you're one of those people who bets on hockey, I hope you took the over in this game because just about 2 minutes left to go in the first period. Yes, already 4 goals scored. Here comes number 5, Roman Josi with a shot perfectly on target to be tipped by Ryan Johansson past Bobrovsky, and already the Preds are up 3-2 only in the first period. Johansson, I wish you would have done a lot of this leading up to game 53 of the season. Preds lead 3-2 after 1, but the shots are 10-7 in favor of the Panthers after 1. No goaltending whatsoever to that point. In the second period, the Preds, Kevin Lankin seems to settle down, but they just poured on Sergei Bobrovsky because about 9 minutes into the middle frame, Colton Sissons gets a partial breakaway, gets a shimmy and a shake, and gets it backhand past Bobrovsky. His night is done, and the Preds are up 4-2, but the Preds don't stop there as in the last quarter of the second period, a blast by Roman Josi, and the Preds are really sticking it to the Panthers now, up 5-2 after 40 minutes. In the third period, the Preds, unlike other times this season, continue to keep their foot on the Panthers' throat. It's almost 9 minutes into the third period. Preds on the power play, and Tommy Novak puts his second goal of the game, the Preds' second power play goal of the game. They went 2 for 3. The Preds are now up 6-2, and I wouldn't blame Tommy Novak if he went to Coach John Hines and said, "Don't you dare put me in the press box again. Hines, play the kids." After Sam Reinhart makes the game a little bit more respectable on a power play of the Panthers' own to cut the lead to 6-3, under 6 minutes left to go in regulation, Paul Maurice of the Panthers, their coach, pulls Spencer Knight early, and eventually the Preds put this game away. Yakov Trenin is able to ice it with an empty net goal, his 7th goal of the game. The Preds get their extra point, and eventually, with the remaining time ticking down, the Panthers have no fight back, even though they looked as if they were going to get the 2-point conversion with the 8-3 goal that was waved off that Yusel Parson was hoping to get, but it was offside. But alas, the Preds are still victorious, beating the Panthers in this one 7-3. Am I happy for the moral victory today of seeing this team bounce back from the disaster that was Thursday night? Of course I am. The loyal members of the fan base deserve better than whatever was put out on Bridgestone Arena ice on Thursday. And even more so, they don't deserve back-to-back lackluster efforts of the sort. And down the stretch here, with every team in the league having less than 30 games left to go before the playoffs, no team, much less this lunch pail crew that we all know and love, is going to ever lose on purpose. It is up to management to put it in its ideal position for success or failure for the playoffs or a good lottery spot come the end of the season. And David Poile, I'm glad you've conceded that you're not going to be a buyer come the March 3rd trade deadline. That's good. That's very good. But you're not doing this team any favors in the future by just standing pat. Please, Poile, put out feelers. See what you might be able to get from teams that are interested in a guy like Nino Niederreiter. A defenseman, a good, solid top 2 defensemen on a lot of teams out there that are in a playoff spot that has term in Matthias Ekholm. And dare I say, one of the best goalies who might miss the playoffs this year that would be loved by a team that needs a goalie that has scoring but just needs a backstopper to make a save. See what you might be able to get for UC Saros. Nothing is off the table, because then once you get pieces for them potentially in 2, 3, maybe 4 years, the likes of Juuso Parson, Cody Glass, Tommy Novak, Philip Tomasino, when those 4 key pieces have matured and gotten more playing time, and have Yaroslav Askarov really matured in net, it's going to be awesome. Amazing to see what this next generation of Preds players for this franchise can be capable of. I can read social media. Preds Facebook and Preds Twitter can be a headache sometimes, but the majority of the fan base is ready for a rebuild. You just have to pull the trigger, Poyle. This isn't 2008, Poyle, where, you were afraid with new ownership, with that jackass Jim Balsillie, prepared to potentially move the team to Hamilton, where you had to just scrape by and just turn a slight profit and be satisfied with just making the playoffs and being 1 and out. This fan base will be ready to take the medicine of sucking for a few years. Just don't be afraid to administer the medicine. But honestly though, once you admit that, I would like you to have an exit strategy. You don't deserve to be fired, but I would like to see where somebody is going to take over for you and take this team to the next level that you've already tried to, but it's time to move on. I should know a thing or two about teams that need to admit to needing a rebuild, but taking too long to admit to taking the medicine. I'm in Vancouver. The Canucks are 9 years overdue for admitting they need to tear everything down to be able to build back up again. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Predemption. Don't worry, 501 Broadway. If you play the new kids coming up from Milwaukee and put them in the show, like I see that they have the talent when I follow the Milwaukee Admirals, the fans are going to dig them. They're going to love the new stuff. Don't overplay the old hits, because eventually they're going to fall on deaf ears.